Thank you very much, Jelani, for the wonderful presentation you gave. All right, our next speaker is a member of the Veterans for Peace, Chapter 27, Chante Wolf. Chante?
That's all right. That's right. That's good. Well, thank you very much for asking, and thank you very much for all the other speakers. A lot of things to think about. I was going to really touch on a really light subject, military sexual trauma, but for the case of brevity, I just want to read something that I wrote around Memorial Day. I agonize over Memorial Day. I despise the flyovers, 21-gun salutes, barbecues, and blowout sales that make it all seem so cheap and then forgotten until next year. I want to throw up, sob, run away, and hide. Then the anger comes over our never-ending wars and never-ending deaths that I don't know what to do next. So instead of shopping, I want to remember those who died in the military during my time in the service, the Air Force, 1980 to 1992. 2 airmen who were murdered and buried behind their security police squadron after they turned in most of the squadron members for doing drugs. My friend Carmen, a Spanish woman who sat next to me at the switchboard at Zaragoza Air Base, Spain, who was beaten to death with a champagne bottle and dumped into the Ebro River by her U.S. Air Force Master Sergeant boyfriend. Senior Airman Armstrong, on guard duty at the front gate late one night, put his M16 in his mouth. Tech Sergeant Williams sat in his idling car with a hose running from the muffler into the back seat. The whole Roberts family, including their 3 children, suffocated to death from a butane leak. My friend Sergeant Ben Andrews and 15 others died when their C-130 plowed into the side of Mount Moncayo, Spain. My friend, Staff Sergeant Betty Holmes, and 2 other sergeants were killed when a Spanish military bus filled with drunk soldiers flipped into the air and landed on 3 cars of U.S. military members driving into work. Betty managed to use her body to shield her 3-year-old daughter, saving her life. My friend Senior Airman Claude Atman, who attempted suicide, only later to die of cancer. The Challenger explosion. Our base was the alternative landing site, and many of us had gotten to know the ground crew as they prepped the runway. I never saw so many grown men openly sob in my life. My hearing the deaths of 28 and wounding over 100 U.S. reservists in Dhahran during Desert Storm. Later knowing that our smart bombs killed over 1,500 Iraqi women and children in a shelter. My friend, Tech Sergeant George Simmons, in Desert Storm died from cancer, most probably due to his exposure to oil smoke and depleted uranium after he went into Kuwait. He had 4 daughters. And of my family, my cousin Stevie, who served 2 combat tours in Vietnam, killed himself just after I joined the Air Force. My Uncle Bud, who was a paratrooper during World War II, drank himself to death. And my father, who dropped dead of a massive heart attack in 2009, served in the Navy during the Korean War. His crew were conducting boat boarding missions off of South Africa and came upon a hostile boat crew. His unit killed everyone on board. He never spoke of it, bragged about it, nor wore an ace of spades on any of his baseball caps either. And now I would like to remember a few recent deaths. Chief Warrant Officer Matthew Laurie, killed in Iraq in 2005. He was the son of former Minnesota Senator Becky Laurie. Andy Pelekis, a Vietnam veteran, killed himself in 2002 after a long battle with depression. His daughter, Mara, created a documentary about him, Souvenirs, Healing After the War. Lance Corporal Jeff Lucy, who was ordered to shoot 2 unarmed Iraqi prisoners. Scared to death, shaking, he hesitated because they were his age. The order came again and he complied. Afterwards, he took their dog tags and brought them home with him along with the war. Anguished, angry, and telling his sister that he was a murderer, he hung himself with a garden hose in the basement of his parents' house on June 22nd in 2004. Army Specialist Alyssa Peterson killed herself by gunshot in 2003 after refusing to participate any further in the torture as an Arabic translator at Abu Ghraib in Iraq. Corporal Pat Tillman, killed by fratricide, April 22, 2004. The Army first reported that he died in a hail of gunfire from the enemy. Lieutenant General Stanley McChrystal approved Tillman's award of a Silver Star. Tillman was going to speak out against both occupations of Iraq and Afghanistan. He had also participated in the staged movie rescue of Jessica Lynch. Colonel Theodore Westhusing killed himself by gunshot June 5, 2005, and left the following suicide note to his commanding officer, General Petraeus. Thanks for telling me it was a good day until I briefed you. You are only interested in your career and provide no support for your staff, no mission support, and you don't care. I cannot support a mission that leads to corruption, human rights abuses, and liars. I am sullied no more. I didn't volunteer to support corrupt, money-grubbing contractors, nor work for commanders only interested in themselves. I came to serve honorably and feel dishonored. I trust no Iraqi. I cannot live this way. All my love to my family, my wife, and my precious children. I love you and trust you only. Death before being dishonored anymore. Trust is essential. I don't know who to trust anymore. Why serve when you can't accomplish the mission, when you no longer believe in the cause, when your every effort and breath to succeed meets with lies, lack of support, and selfishness? No more. Re-evaluate yourselves, commanders. You are not what you think you are, and I know it. Life needs trust. Trust is no more for me here in Iraq. If war really worked, why do we still build more memorials, expand veteran cemeteries, and study about it so much in schools, universities, and think tanks? Isn't it time to build shrines for the peacekeepers, study good communication skills, and work diligently on reconciliation instead? Thank you.
Yeah.